With me now is Alan Fairweather, who donated his father's pacemaker specifically for use abroad. In fact, Alan, you were the first person to do that, so you're the pioneer.
Well, apparently so, yes.
Right. Just give me an idea. Your father, Toby, he was how old?
87.
Right, so a good old age.
Yes.
And what about the pacemaker, if I can ask? How old was that?
That was only a few weeks old. I can't remember exactly, but probably 4 weeks.
Right, so essentially pretty close to being a new piece of kit.
Yes, absolutely.
Which sounds like the perfect sort of thing to be able to move on. Just before we do look at, you know, how that all works, what was it like for you as a decision to take? And indeed, what made you think about taking that decision?
Well, I was at the funeral directors with one of my brothers and one of my sisters, and we were asked whether we were prepared to donate it, and without even thinking, we all said yes.
And had you also been asked about other organs?
No, we hadn't, no.
I don't think was quite old, so maybe that wouldn't have been so appropriate. But would it have been an issue for you to donate organs as well? I'm just thinking, is there a difference between handing over something that kept your father going, it may have kept him going for many years, and, you know, an organic part of his body?
I hadn't thought about it, but I guess there is. I think of the pacemaker rather as a surgical appliance rather than a body part, and if one had another surgical appliance, a Zimmer frame or a walking stick or something simple as that from a hospital, wouldn't hesitate to give it back if they wanted it.
Yeah, and from that point of view, it sounds like a very logical thing to do.
Yes.
And yet it seems, is it just that no one's really thought of it, do you think?
I think because they're not reused in this country, that's why it's not being considered. It's taken somebody like Lavan from Pace4Life to actually bring this thing out into the open, because people just aren't aware of it. We knew nothing of it.
Right. I mean, I think there is one reason put forward by the people who make these things at $4,000 a pop, is that they are one use only. They shouldn't be passed on into another body. And what do you make of that? Well,
the cynical side of my nature says to me, well, that's very commercial, isn't it? You would say it was one use only. Let's sell you another one.
But I mean, they would also, they do look at the potential for complications.
Yes.
For, you know, the match not being right, things like that. Does that worry? Would that worry you?
No, I gather these are going off to the University of Michigan, where they will be checked out and tested to see if they're suitable. So I would trust that these people know what they're doing, and they will not pass them on unless they are suitable. So presumably, had your father's pacemaker been halfway through its sort of useful life, maybe it wouldn't have been used again. Is that right? Yes, I understand that if they're tested to see how much battery life they've got, and if they're beyond a certain point, they are sold for the scrap value of the precious metals, and then that money goes back to the charity. I have to ask you, it was keeping your father alive. What would he have made of this? He would have loved it. He was spent his life helping. And I think, you know, had we asked him before, if we'd known about it before he died, he would have been the first to say, yes, do it. Excellent. So all round a good result. Yes. Thank you very much indeed for joining us here on GMT. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.